Hey Chick-fil-A South Roads team, thank you for joining me on another leadership series. Today I want to talk to you all about the idea of strategic vision. Now, strategic vision, a lot of times when we think about vision in general, we think about the larger vision of the business, which is very important. It's why we do what we do. Everything that happens in the business, it's to have a positive influence on all who come into contact with Chick-fil-A. And that is our greater vision, and we have to be able to manage and share that vision. But within that vision, we have a lot of times a lot of goals and tactics and strategies of things that we want to accomplish within our vision. And it is important as a leader that you have to be able to set a strategic vision. You have to be able to set a vision of where your team is going to go, where a particular area of the business is going to be in the future. You have to begin to think about these different aspects of setting a vision. By definition, a leader is someone who leads a group of people from here to there. It's a group of somebody who leads somebody from here's where we are currently, but we are going to take you to a destination somewhere in the future that is going to be a better state. And so as a leader, you have to be able to set a strategic vision for your team and for the business as far as where you're going to go. Now, we believe that there's an easy way to do this, and it's an acronym that we want to share with you, which is CFA. Now, when you hear that, you might think Chick-fil-A. It actually doesn't stand for Chick-fil-A. It actually stands C for the current state, F for the future state, and then A is the action that we're going to take to get there. So let's dive into that a little bit more. So first off, let's think about the current state. When you think about the current state, what you're trying to do here is you're really trying to define and clearly understand what is going on right now. What is the issue and the problem at hand? So maybe there's something that's not happening really well in the business that we need to fix and we need to make better. A good thing to do when you think about this current state is to understand, why can we not continue to be in this current state? What's going to happen if we continue to do the things we're doing? Let's use drive-through as an example. When we first started Chick-fil-A, we were taking drive-through just like you would normally do over a headset anywhere else over the speaker boxes. But we began to look at that current state and we began to ask, why can't we continue to do this? One reason was as we began to get busier and busier, it slowed down our drive-through process to take all the orders over headset. So cars began to back out into the parking lot around the building. It began to impede traffic. It began to become a safety issue for a lot of our guests trying to get into the restaurant. It caused more stress actually on our team members when things weren't flowing as well and as smoothly. And so that was our current state. Things were not going well in the drive-through, and we knew we needed to make a change. The next thing you have to do is you have to define the future state. What does it look like? What is the future area or destination that we're going to go to, and why is that a better situation, right? So again, for example, with the drive-through example, we knew that a future state would be that if we could get more cars through, that our team could run more efficiently, that our guests could be more safe as they're coming into the business, that it would help grow our sales, grow our opportunities for our team to grow. We knew that there were so many more benefits of a future state of being more efficient in a drive-through. Now, again, we have the current state identified where we were. We have a future state of where we want to go. And then the A stands for the action. So what is the action that we're going to take to get to the next area? This is where you get really specific of the things that you're going to do to help you reach your future state. So again, for drive-through, a great example is that we begin to think, okay, what do we need to do to get people outside? So we have to think about what equipment do they need to actually take orders outside and making sure we get that. We had to think about what resources they need to handle the inclement weather outside, whether it's jackets for the winter and heaters, or fans for the summer, for canopies, all these different things. We began to say, what are the things that we need to make sure that people can be outside? We began to think about training and leadership that we had to have for drive-through, all these different things that we began to identify. These are the action steps that we need to get to the future state. So again, when you think about this process of setting strategic vision, oftentimes it's just being able to understand these three acronyms of where's our current state, where am I currently in the business, or where's our team currently, or where are we currently involved in this aspect of the business, where's the future state of where do we want to be, what does the future look like, what are the benefits of being in in that future state, and then what are the actions that we're going to take along the way. When you're able to articulate this to your team, it gets them more excited because they begin to understand why, like where are we at now and why are we changing, understanding that why, where are we going, what's the benefits of going there, and then how are we going to get there. That's really all you're trying to do to explain to them. Now, let me give you a caution as you're thinking about setting strategic vision for your team, that there are going to be bumps along the way. Making change is always difficult and always hard for people to do, especially if they're very comfortable in this current state. Sometimes they may see that it has problems, but they aren't really sure about what this future state's really going to look like. They just know what you're telling them, right? And so as they go along this journey and start taking the action steps that you're asking them to do, there's many times where they begin to look back into the past and they say, you know what, I feel like it was easier when we used to do it this way, when we used to just take orders over the headset, or I felt like it was easier when we used to do this in the business or do that in the business, and what we're doing now feels more difficult, it's uncomfortable, I don't like this change, and I'm not ready to go to this future state. A lot of times what we can do as a team is two things. A is continue to encourage them of saying, hey guys, let's stay focused, remember this is where we're going, this is what it's going to look like. But the other thing to do is also to remind them sometimes of why are we leaving that past state, that current state that we're currently in. Why are we making those changes? And sometimes we have to remind them of why we can't go back there, why that is going to be hurtful for our business, why that's going to hurt them as a team and be more challenging for our team. We got to make sure that we paint that picture of why we can't stay here, but why we have to go there to that future state. So again, I believe if you are able to clearly identify that, your current state, your future state, and the actions that we're going to go to get there, you will be able to set strategic vision for your team, get them bought in, and lead your team to the destinations that you want to take them within the business. Thank you for leaning in and growing in your leadership journey at Chick-fil-A. We hope you'll use that acronym CFA to help you set the strategic vision your team needs to grow into the future.